Button. All right, so thanks so much for joining us today and learning more about the 11-day challenge. I'm really excited about this because sometimes I find myself getting off course. And so this will help me stay accountable, help you guys stay accountable as well through the 11 days. So we're starting Monday. So 11 days would go through Thursday. So the 410 to 420. So if you have questions on that, we'll go by the Isagenix schedule of doing shake days and cleanse days. I know that there's an actual 11-day group starting, so we'll go off of that schedule as far as when the cleanse days are. I know some people need to have different cleanse days just for other reasons, or maybe they do an everyday cleanse. So if you need to switch up those days, feel free to. We're just going to try to give everyone a layout for that. So typically in the 11-day challenges, it's typically 4 cleanse days in that 11 days. And some people just do 2. So 2 to 4 cleanse days, unless you're doing an everyday cleanse. So most people see results with the full day cleanse. But I know I have a couple people who, for whatever reason, just can't do a full day cleanse. And then they're gonna be 2 winners, actually 3. So 2 winners, one with the most weight loss, and then one who's lost the most amount of inches. And then the other challenge is for the most number of people that have joined you since joining this 11-day challenge. So this 11-day challenge is really for you, you to get accountable, you to follow the program like Isagenix has set out for you. And so if you haven't already, I know most of you have seen this Shake Day, Cleanse Day planner. I'm just going to hold it up. If you haven't, then we can talk about that. Also, there's 400 to 600 calorie meal ideas that comes. This is just an old one. So I've been in Isagenix now for over almost 3 years. So that's an old little guide, but it's online too. So I like that they've downloaded those online for us, so that we can use those as well if for someone who doesn't have that. Sorry, the dog just barked. So anyway, for the 11-day challenge, I want you guys to send me. You'll also post this in the group, but definitely send it to me. We'll have a Facebook group, but then we'll also have a Facebook Messenger group, just because I like to keep conversations going. And sometimes, as you know, life gets crazy busy. And so, I sometimes can reply back quickly, sometimes I can't. And so if someone else can reply and has the answer, then they can answer your questions and do that effectively. And then also it builds community too. So we get to know each other in the group, and we're all doing this together. So I want you to think about, what is your goal for this 11 days? So that's number 1. What is your goal? And think about why. Why is that your goal? So that, in day 2, day 3, day 4, when you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this, then you can go back to your why of why you started. And then I don't know if you noticed, but the calendar also Easter's on this challenge. So it's a lifestyle change. On Easter, on the weekend of Easter, you're doing 2 shakes that day. So just plan accordingly. I know I have a family birthday party. I've got Easter, family Easter. So I'm just going to plan accordingly and, try to balance out my day and making healthier choices. And instead of going back for probably 3rds and 4ths, maybe I only go back 1 time. So think about that when you're going through this challenge. It's really going to help you with staying accountable. And then next, I want you to think of one thing you're going to start doing in this 11 days. So maybe that right now you're not doing any exercise. So maybe that's just going for a walk. And maybe you could only go for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or maybe you could only stand for 5 minutes. Everybody's in a different part of their journey. And so just do a little bit more than you've been doing. We're not asking you to go run a marathon, in this 11 days. That's not what I'm asking. So just start small, but think of one thing that you can do to get you towards your goals in this 11 days. And then one thing that you will stop doing in this 11 days. So I know for me, during the week, like I've kind of cut out TV. So, I'm making time for myself, time for prayer, time for reading, 10 pages a day, time for exercise, and these different things, and time for my business. And so I kind of cut out just certain things like television, that type of thing, or going to bed earlier. When I go to bed earlier, when I get 8 hours of sleep, then I also have my breakthroughs through my goals and things like that. So think about that. So I'll just read those again so you can write them down. So what is your goal? 2, think about why. Why is that your goal? The one thing that you will start doing in that 11 days. The one thing you will stop doing in that 11 days that'll help you get towards your goal. And then, like I mentioned, we'll have a Facebook challenge group with the bigger group that we're a part of in ISA Rocks. And then we'll have the Facebook Messenger group that'll just be my group with my people and all of you that have joined this call. And then each day you're going to be posting and checking in that group. So just make sure you're doing that just so we can all stay accountable and know that you just haven't fallen off the wayside. Because if you don't post, I'm going to think like you stopped. So just keep that in mind. All right. So what do you need for the challenge? Number 1 is you're going to need shakes. So we've got shake days in there. So you're going to need at least a canister and a half of shake. If you don't already have that, then obviously you know how to order. If not, let me know. You're going to need cleanse. So check your cleanse and make sure you have enough. Most people are going to probably need 1 bottle at least. If you take it every day, then we may talk about that too. You're going to need Natural Accelerator and ISA Flush. You will need Ionic Supreme, so a bottle of that. And then these little snack wafers, I know that they're not the most tasty thing, but you will need those for your cleanse days. And then I also recommend ISA Delights or Whey-Thins, something to help you with snacking, because that's typically where people have the hardest time when trying to make a change. And so we want to make sure you're just set up for success. And I know, through my journey, and then also with helping my mom especially, she's now down over 65 pounds. I think she actually said 67 yesterday. So is that it's a journey, and snacking can be one thing that sometimes holds people back from reaching their goals. And I know for me, it was always sweets. So think about those things that you already know that you're having trouble with, and then think about what you can replace it with. So I know Laura and I talked yesterday about Slim Cakes and fiber snacks through Isagenix, using the Isoline bars, things like that, so that you are equipped with what you need, so that you aren't like going and getting a Sonic, Blizzard or something like that. So, or a Dairy Queen Blizzard, I guess. So anyway, think about that. And then, so this 11 days, I'm super excited for it. And I know you guys are all going to do awesome. And like I said, there's a separate Facebook group. So once we get all that going, I'll add you into that group. And just message me that you're in, so I know, because sometimes when you hear these calls, you're like, okay, yes, it's for me, or no, it's not for me right now because whatever. So I'm going to assume if you're on this call that you're definitely in right now. So Laura and Maria, I'm going to add you. But then beyond that, if you're listening to this recording, then I'm going to need you to message me or message the person that invited you to this call, so that we can get you added to that group. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording. I also will be doing these calls once a week too. So I'll be sending out information as to when I'm doing those, just so you know. And if you have specific times and days that work for you, let me know as well. So with that, let me stop the recording.